Yes, we can.
Okay, good afternoon all. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and thanks to all members of the Young Pharmacists Group. So this report is going to be a representation of our activities as an executive. I just want to confirm with pharmacist No Fode, I don't know if it's around. I hope these sessions have been recorded because we want to keep a recordings of these sessions.
Okay, hold on.
So this is the overview of my presentation. I'm going to be looking at the role of the Secretariat and also making sure in terms of governance and administration, membership management, strategic engagement, and major programs we held in terms of international presentation. We look at the financial report, we look at our achievements, challenges, and then recommendations. So I want to start by saying, Mr. President, distinguished guests, members of the executive committee, fellow young pharmacists, and ladies and gentlemen, it is immense gratitude and deep sense of responsibility that I present to you the annual report of the Secretary General covering the period January 2025 to July 2026. The Secretariat remained committed to fulfilling its constitutional mandates by ensuring effective administration, maintaining organizational records, coordinating official communications, documenting executive decisions, supporting the implementation of programs, and strengthening strategic partnerships that advance the vision and mission of the Young Pharmacists Group, Sierra Leone. This reporting period has been one of growth, innovation, collaboration, and institutional strengthening. Together, we have expanded the visibility of YPG, strengthened governance, development, advocated for the welfare of young pharmacists, and laid a stronger institutional foundation for the future of our association. During the reporting period, the Secretariat discharged its responsibilities by coordinating executive committee meetings, preparing and circulating meeting notices and agendas, recording and distributing minutes of meetings, maintaining of official records and archives, managing organizational correspondence, coordinating stakeholders' engagement, monitoring implementation of executive decisions, updating the membership database, supporting committees in execution of their responsibilities. So in terms of governance and administration, the Secretariat played central role in strengthening the governance of the Young Pharmacists Group. And also we looked at development and implementation of the executive work plan, regular executive committee meetings, documentation of executive decisions, and tracking implementations of some of our action points. And also we try to see we improve documentations and record keeping. And the Secretariat ensured that decisions of the executive committee were properly documented and communicated to facilitate effective implementation. We look at membership management. One of the major priorities during this administration was strengthening the association membership, and also achievement included updating the YPG membership database and making sure we have an effective database. And we inducted 33 new pharmacists who were inducted to be members of the Young Pharmacists Group. And also, as part of our work was to prepare the official voter registration list for these elections. And also, as part of our mandate was to improve communication with members through organized mailing lists and digital platforms, as even for this AGM, most of our members received email in terms of direction, how they can get in touch with the registration process, having access to the nominations, CVs, and all of those things. And also these initiatives have significantly strengthened transparency and membership participation in the affairs of the association. In terms of strategic engagement, we held a strategic courtesy visit to the Director of Pharmaceutical Services. So the Executive Committee paid a courtesy visit to the Chief Pharmacist and Director of Pharmaceutical Services. And during that meeting, our discussions, we are focused on the recruitment of pharmacists and to see how pharmacists can be recruited into the Young Pharmacists Group, into the government, and also voluntary opportunities. During that time, we found out that most of our members have finished internship and they wanted to volunteer, especially in these programs like EPI, malaria, and other programs. So there were these opportunities that were created, and some of our colleagues are currently volunteering at both the EPI malaria where they are currently working, and also some are even doing voluntary activities at DPS and NEMSA. And also we looked at specialist training to see how we can encourage young pharmacists to do specialized training in terms of professional ethics. And also we looked at talk also during that meeting about the induction of new licensed pharmacists, how we can collaborate with the DPS, his office, and which was a welcoming idea, and we participated fully in the induction. And also the engagement also strengthened collaboration between the YPG and Director of Pharmaceutical Services, whilst it creating opportunities for greater involvement of young pharmacists. So this is just a pictorial evidence of the engagement we held with the director and chief pharmacist. And also, as part of strategic engagement, we held a strategic meeting with the Pharmaceutical Society of Sierra Leone. And so we as executive, we all know Pharmaceutical Society is a parent body for us as young pharmacists. So we had a strategic meeting with the executive together with our executive, and we discussed about employment opportunities, mentorship program, professional development, and also see how we can renew the YPG-SL Memorandum of Understanding, and also participation in WPCP activities, in which we as organizations, the likes of Ambuya, NOAA, we participated heavily to make sure that PSSL organize and WCP organize a successful AGM here in Freetown. And also we discussed about career advancement of young pharmacists. So this was a pictorial evidence of that meeting with the Pharmaceutical Society of Sierra Leone. And also we held some strategic international engagements. And so together with the president and the secretary, we were in Ghana. We held a discussion with the FIP Early Career Pharmacists Group president and also the Early Career Pharmaceutical Group of Ghana. And major outcome of that meeting was to see how we can strengthen the regional collaboration between YPG Sierra Leone and ECPG Ghana, and also FIP ECPG affiliations, how YPG can be very affiliated with FIP CPG, and also want to see how we can have a West African networking. We discussed a lot of networking opportunities of how we as young pharmacists can come together in the region, and also we talk about leadership collaboration and AMS advocacy. So these were just pictorial evidence of the picture of the meeting. It was a well-attended meeting, having both the FIP ECPG president and also the ECPG Ghana executive and their president, where we held a fruitful discussion in Accra, Ghana. And also as part of internal representation, for the first time also, we are represented in the FIP World Congress in Copenhagen, Denmark. So it was supposed to be 3 of us who we are supposed to attend, with me, Noah, and Abaka. But unfortunately, due to some other pressing issues, the president could not make it to Denmark. But one of the major highlights was our participation, which was the first time YPG is participating in the FIP World Congress in Copenhagen. And so YPG was proudly represented by its Secretary General and a senior pharmacist, providing the association with a platform to showcase the work of young pharmacists in Sierra Leone while we strengthen international partnership and professional network with these organizations. And also during the FIP World Congress, there was a presentation of the early career pharmacist need in Sierra Leone. So as Secretary General, I presented a scientific poster titled Needs Assessments for Early Career Pharmacists in a Low-Income Country, a Case Study of Sierra Leone. So in which the presentation highlighted the findings of YPG National Needs Assessment and showcased the professional development needs, challenges, and opportunities facing young pharmacists in Sierra Leone, in which the study generated considerable interest among international delegates and provided valuable visibility for the work of YPG-SL within the global pharmacy community. And also during the World Congress, we had an engagement with the University of Malta Faculty of Postgraduate Studies, especially the clinical pharmacy master program. So during the Congress, the Secretary General held a strategic meeting with representatives from the Faculty of Clinical Pharmacy, University of Malta, about areas of mutual collaborations in which our discussions were focused on clinical pharmacy education, research collaboration, capacity building, professional exchange programs, scholarship opportunities for young pharmacists from Sierra Leone, and also future institutional partnership between the YPG and the University of Malta. And also this engagement presented an opportunity, an important step towards creating international education and research opportunities for members of YPG-SL. So these are just pictorial evidence of the YPG at FIP World Congress. You can see a picture of me and Abubakar, and a picture of also me presenting the early career needs assessment, and also completing a picture with other ECPG members, and also the meeting with the University of Malta at the FIP World Congress. Also, as part of major program we implemented, it was the YPG induction ceremony, which was one of our milestone events. We tried to make sure we welcome and inducted new set of pharmacists into the young pharmacist group. We were able to induct 33 new pharmacists join the young pharmacist group Sierra Leone. And also the induction ceremony we looked at the theme, shaping the future of pharmacy, ethical practice, professional excellence. So the event brought together senior leaders from government, academia, regulatory institutions, and professional organizations to officially induct newly licensed pharmacists into YPG-SL. So as Secretariat, we coordinated the invitations, program development, speaker coordination, documentations, induction certificates, administration of the professional pledge. And so all of these things, this program marked a significant step towards institutionalizing the induction of young pharmacists into the profession. So we can see our pictorial evidence of the YPG induction. You can see the president making a statement, picture group photo, members during induction. You can see a picture of the CP. Also, as part of major program we implemented was the scholarship and career development webinar. To promote academic and professional advancement, YPG collaborated with the Junior Doctors Association of Sierra Leone, JUDASIL, to organize a virtual webinar titled The Secret Behind Scholarship Applications. And the webinar featured Dr. Abdul Karimba, who was the president of the JUDASIL, and who was also a Commonwealth Chair Scholar for the 2024-25 academic year. And also Pharm Sisi was the president for YPG, who is also a Commonwealth Chair Scholar for the 2025-2026 academic year. And also, during the webinar, participants were trained on identifying scholarship opportunities. How can we be able to identify these opportunities, looking at internal scholarship applications, looking at English language requirements, what are some of these requirements, writing competitive personal statements, scholarship essays, preparing successful applications. So this webinar attracted pharmacists, pharmacy students, junior doctors, and other health professionals, reinforcing YPG commitment to academic excellence and career development. I can tell you this particular webinar yielded fruit, as most of our colleagues who are now applying for scholarships, and some of them are even at the verge of having scholarships. So it was a very, very fruitful event. And as you can see, this was the flyer for that particular event that we organized as YPG. And also, we continue to mentor. YPG participated in NAP's SL White Coat Ceremony. As we all know, the White Coat Ceremony symbolized the formal entry of pharmacy students into the clinical year. So YPG was represented by the president from NOAA and had the privilege of mentoring these students on professionalism, leadership, ethical pharmacy practice, lifelong learning, service to humanity, career development opportunities through YPG-SL. And also this engagement strengthened the collaboration between YPG and NAPS-SL while we continue to inspire the next generation of pharmacists. So this is the pictorial evidence of the NAPS-SL white coat ceremony. Also, the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week, YPG partnered with the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, the Junior Doctors of Sierra Leone to commemorate the Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week. So the collaboration brought together the young pharmacists, junior doctors, pharmacy students, and elder healthcare professionals for advocacy and capacity building activities that were aimed at combating antimicrobial resistance. So a major highlight for that collaboration was the training wherein we train young pharmacists and doctors on the rational use of antibiotics, principles of antimicrobial stewardship, infection prevention and control, the growing threats of antimicrobial resistance, the role of us, the young pharmacists and doctors in combating AMR, and also the multidisciplinary collaboration in healthcare. So this program strengthened YPG's contributions to national public health initiatives and promoted interprofessional collaborations. So we can see pictorial evidence. This was the picture on the top was the training we held at nursing school. And this other picture was a picture at the Brookfield Hotel where we held the WOW training. You can see Naomi, you can see Povo, you can see Marianne in this picture where we had this bigger audience, and also you can see pictures of young pharmacists and phases of this profession where we held the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week. And another major milestone, because we wanted to keep, when we came to office, most of our certificates of registration was with the Freetown City Council that has long expired since 2021. And when we came into office, during the induction ceremony, we wanted to open an account. And now the banking system have changed their policies and law. If you want to open an organizational account, you must be registered with the National Investment Board. So as that was one of the major achievements we did as an executive, was to see that we as an executive, we make sure we register with this the National Investment Board. In our last meeting, I explained to us that we register YPG as a company with liability, meaning it's not for profit. Nobody has shares in it. Members are just making sure that they show in support for the organization. So we were able to register, and currently as an organization, we have our certificate of incorporation, certificates of registration, memorandum of articles, and our official address. We have officially opened our accounts with the Rokel Commercial Bank, which is a great achievement for this executive. So you can see this is the certificate of incorporation that we have been incorporated as a company with liability. And this was the company incorporation from the NIB. These are all certificates we received. We also registered with National Revenue Authority where we have our tax clearance. And so what has been done so far, we have opened our bank account, we've set up a good governance structure, and then we develop our annual work plan. So as a key takeaway from this registration document, YPG-SL is a non-profit legal entity, and members have limited liability, and the funds we use are for impact and for our projects. And also, as we all know, the Secretariat embarked on the planning of this virtual summit. In terms of activities, we make sure that we coordinated the program development, speaker invitation, goodwill messages, registration of participants, publicity, elections, membership verifications, and also development of voter. So these are the Secretariat actively participated in making sure we have a successful annual general meeting in which we are having currently. Also, during the reporting period, I can say we as a secretariat, we were able to have some successes in terms of official member. We updated the official membership. We registered the organization legally with the National Investment Board. We opened a bank account. We inherited zero balance, no money, when we came into governance, but we are leaving the association with some money in the bank account. So if you can clap, this is a good place for you to clap. And also we coordinated numerous executive committee meetings. We organized the induction ceremony. We conducted research and strengthened collaboration with the other partners. So successfully also we implemented a partnership with WHO, the Brazil, the Ministry of Health, and other organizations. We've completed our virtual summit. We're going to coordinate effectively the executive in elections, and we improve organizational communication and documentation. I can tell you during this mandate, especially for this AGM, members can attest, we make sure that we improve communication. Everything so far was sent through your emails. All of you received email from the Secretariat using the YPG email address. And also we strengthen our partnership with, yes, we strengthen our partnership with the Pharmaceutical Society of Sierra Leone, and also we organize a scholarship application webinar in collaboration with Trudasil. So I want to speak briefly on the financial reports. Unfortunately, we cannot have our treasurer. She's battling with health challenges, but she sent a summary of the financial reports to us. For us that we are part of our last meeting just after the induction, a detailed report of the finances of the association was reported. We reported our detail, and I'm reporting now based on what she reported, that based on the balance brought forward after the induction, we had 18,000 Leo as what was left. And then also during that period between January to now, what we did in terms of expenditure, we spent 5,000 Leon for the registration with NIB, tax clearance, and other documentation, and also 2,000 Leon for City Council. We have to pay for 6 years, which is 300 Leons, by the form, so, and other things. So that was 2 million we spent. So a total expenditure was 7,000 leons from the 18,000 leons that was brought forward for the induction ceremony. So the balance at account currently is 11,000 leons. So we want to talk about challenges. Despite the achievements we recorded, there were several challenges we encountered: limited financial resources and competing professional commitments of executive members. I can tell you, leadership in NAPSSL and leadership in YPG is two different things. There were competing professional commitments. Now we have members who are family, we have pregnancy, members who are pregnant, all of these competing professional commitments of executive. We have executive member that was seriously sick. So those things were some of the challenges we encountered during the mandate. Delay in implementing some plan activities. We had a wonderful work plan, but we had delays in implementing some of our activities. Difficulty in maintaining updated membership information. There was limited participation of some members, and also internet connectivities during virtual meetings were a challenge. Inadequate funding to support all our plan activities. We are planning to have a research master plan, and one of the things that stopped us not to have it was due to limited funding. The former DVC was almost on the verge to support us. We know a left office, and so based on that, we were unable to have the research master class as we planned it. And as recommendations to strengthen the association, I want to recommend that we operationalize the bank account, make sure it becomes functional and operational. We digitalize the membership database. I've already done that. We develop a comprehensive strategic plan. For every organization, there should be a strategic plan that should guide us. So we need to develop that plan. We institutionalize quarterly executive reporting. One of the challenges we faced, because we did a lot, but we were not communicating. But we think going forward, there should be quarterly reporting of activities. We strengthen our fundraising initiatives. We need to expand mentorship and leadership program, increase collaboration with both national and international partners, and we try to develop a monitoring and evaluation framework for all our programs. Let's have a monitoring framework for all our program, and also we try to continue to invest in professional development and advocacy for young pharmacists. Let's continue to invest in professional development program and for young pharmacists. So I want to kindly extend my sincere appreciation to the leadership of the Young Pharmacists Group, especially to Pharm Noah, who is the president, for his visionary leadership and unwavering support, and also members of the executive committee for their dedication and teamwork, the Pharmaceutical Society of Sierra Leone, the Director of Pharmaceutical Services, Pharmacy Board of Sierra Leone, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, NAPSSL, Sierra Leone Pharmaceutical Business Association, Junior Doctors of Sierra Leone, World Health Organization, media team, every member of YPG whose dedication continues to strengthen our profession. Your collective support has been instrumental in successes recorded during this mandate. So I want to say thank you to all of you who supported us during this mandate, and also for those who are also critiquing us. We appreciate you so much. Those are the things that made us to do what we are going to do. As I conclude my report, the period January 2025 to July 2026 has been one of the greatest thing for us as young pharmacists. Through strong leadership, teamwork, and strategic partnership, we have strengthened governance, expanded professional development opportunities, increased organizational visibility, and enhanced advocacy for young pharmacists. The Secretariat remains steadfast in promoting transparency, accountability, effective communication, and institutional growth. Although challenges remain, the achievement of this administration has laid a solid foundation for future executives to build on. Serving as Secretary General has been one of my greatest honor of my life and career. I am grateful to the President, the Executive Committee, our partners, and every member of YPG-SL for the trust and confidence placed in me throughout this journey. As I respectfully submit this report to the General Assembly for your consideration and adoption, I remain optimistic that the Young Pharmacists Group Sierra Leone will continue to grow as a vibrant, influential, and impactful professional organization dedicated to empowering young pharmacists and advancing healthcare in Sierra Leone. Thank you all for your attention. May God bless the young pharmacists of Sierra Leone, and may God bless us all. Thank you for your attention.
Wow. Let's give a round of applause for the Secretary General, please. I think he deserves it. Please, 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 please. Let us give him a round of applause. This was absolutely breathtaking. To be honest with you, he was supposed to take 10 minutes, but he took 20. And I didn't stop him simply because of I don't think he has ever given. By the way, he has given so many brilliant presentations, and he's someone I have so much respect for because I know he's a very hardworking guy. But I believe this is amongst his best presentations he has ever given
Lucky, bro.
because
Now lucky.
I know not a problem, but
Now lucky.
I know him very well for many years. But
Yeah.
that was a very very good comprehensive. The reason why I did not interrupt when he was giving the presentation, we've had so many criticism regarding. I'll put it in Creole. People are will not do nothing, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. It's there. We'll share the report simply because of the president was unavoidably unavailable in person for much of the time due to personal reasons, and which has to do with professional development. But that didn't stop things not happening. What we did things that YPG never had before in terms of accounts. We inherited 0 leones, zero, and we are leaving 11,000 leones. That has never happened before. YPG never had a bank account. Look at the registration that have been done. Look at the activities that have been carried on. So I wouldn't bother with that. We share the report. The floor is open for questions and answers. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please put them in the group. We have time for it. We'll respond. And then before we move on to the elections, questions and answers, please. Please ask us questions because you've been criticizing us left, right, and we love it because it's part of the game. Criticism is what makes us better. But if we are here today delivering, giving you a reason to show you that we've been active regardless of so many other challenges, we expect to get feedback from you guys. So the floor is open. While you are waiting for the questions, I just wanted to just let you know that for the elections, I just wanted to let you know that I guess all the candidates' motivation is in the group, and I'm sure you have you've watched all the motivations. So the General Assembly will have to agree whether we move straight into the elections or do you want to get the motivations again? Because it has to do with time. That the reason why we told them to do the video ahead of time is to avoid any waste of time when we come here. But it's up to you guys. What do you think? If you're comfortable with what you've seen, or if you want to see the videos again, just let us know. But we are still waiting for questions. Please, if you have any questions, comments, critics, please. Guys, sorry if I'm calling out. I'm very sorry. It's not in a very bad way, but mostly we would really appreciate to get comments from you, because not in a bad way. I think you've been very critical of us, which is very good, to be honest. Because in life, if you're not being critic, it means you're not doing anything. So it's part of life. Criticism is what makes us better. So I don't know whether you're still on the call, but if you're here, we would love to hear from you. Okay, we have Buya. Yes, Buya, the floor is yours, please. Buya, you
Yes,
cannot.
yes, yes. Good afternoon again. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the Secretary General from Ivan and the entire team. All of us would agree that it's so demanding, and I don't want to be political here. It's so demanding to have an organization being run, especially in settings like this, particularly when it is professional. I mean, it's quite difficult that you need to ask people to do certain things, and it's even a difficult thing. So I want to commend you to start with that this is really laudable. And I'm happy on the aspect of documentation, because for me, I believe we can learn, all of us can learn a whole lot, particularly for some of us that have already decided to opt for this very amazing but bulky task ahead. But together, these lessons would play a key role. I wanted to ask a question regarding our welfare or benefit to members. I know we're a non-for-profit institution, but if you go to the constitution directly, it made provision for benefit for people being members of YPG. So, for example, you see, if I want to get married, can I benefit from YPG? I just want to know if there were any of those circumstances where directly people benefited, as in we were there to support them, whether cash or in kind, as the case might be. I just needed to possibly, because for me, that would also help colleagues to get motivated extra. That is not just a matter of you attending very important sessions like this, but you can also get to get that feel of people supporting you, celebrating with you, and all of that. So I needed to picture that critically whilst we get the other commendations on. Thank you very much, and over.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so much.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Um, Noah, before you come in, please, there is a poll going on for the you want a manifesto or not, so you can easily just people have started voting, so that we'll not revisit that. It will close in the next 2 minutes, please. Just click what you want. If you want manifesto, yes. If you don't want manifesto, no. So that we'll just move on when it comes to the time of voting. I'm doing in this in tandem to the electoral commissioner who is Pharm. So
Thank you fully for that. So while I respond to Bia, let's respond to the pool, because as I mentioned, the motivations are already in the group, and I guess most of you have seen it. So do you want it to be played again, or do you want to just go straight to the election because you've seen it already? The pool is there. It closes in the next couple of minutes. So, to Buya, thank you so much for your question. That's a really, really good question regarding the welfare. I think you you actually highlighted a very good point. I think that's one of the things in which we lacked when it comes to our mandate, in terms of connecting people in that kind of this comes from like any moral support. When it comes to people having, the only thing I could pinpoint was we lost a member. May he so rest in peace. Fude from, I don't know whether you guys remembered. YPG was there. We supported the process. We were there for the burial, and Ivan and I were really central towards um the arrangements in terms of paying respect to him as being a member. That's one of the key things. And if I'm honest, a lot of other things came up which we should have or could have done better, in terms of supporting members in weddings, in terms of supporting members in um, naming ceremony, I think in terms of grief, we're there because we faced one and we reacted positively. So if I can pinpoint an area which might need improvement, I think that's one of the things in which I would throw to the executive incoming to see how they could bring members on board and reconnect them beyond just professional. Reconnect them in terms of when they're in moral distress, and try to provide that support that goes beyond just professional development and that goes beyond just mentorship professionally. It goes more personal, and just create that network wherein people can feel as if like they have um, a group of people that would show up for them when they are in point of need or when they are in point of grief. We showed up actually in terms of there was an issue which I think Ivan can highlight more of that, because Ivan led that particular drive when they had an issue with some commodities at Connor. Ivan, do you want to touch on that? Do you remember the incident in which we had a pharmacist who who um who had the issue? Did you remember, Ivan?
You're talking about the ones at it was not Connor. So thank you. Let me just
Yeah,
highlight the points Boya is trying to say. If you go to Article 10 of our Constitution, it's talking about welfare. Like I can say as an executive, like Noah was saying, we lacked, but what we were doing, like for example, for marriage and so if when the person made us to understand, we'll just contribute among ourselves as executive, and then we attend and support you and make sure that we did not come to the membership to say, okay, there is this marriage going on, we have to contribute. But amongst ourselves as executive, we're able to reach out like for 4 days funeral, we came together. So there was issue of pharmacists having issues. I think you know him. He was a young pharmacist. He was in Pujon. There was
yeah,
issue
John,
of
yeah.
theft, but the pharmacists were not aware. It involved the storekeeper, also the pharmacy technician, but they saw the commodities with the pharmacy technician. But as a pharmacist, even when it was called, it was never called at the police station. It was never called for questioning. But we just saw the directorate calling that he should report, and then he gave his own side of the story, and we are supporting him. And I was in close discussion with him, and then I even held a meeting with the chief pharmacist then about the issue of this young pharmacist. I also met with the president of Pharmaceutical Society. So those are the things we've been working on behind the scenes, just to talk and advocate for people. And one person I'm always grateful to is Dr. Conte. Whenever there's issue, especially involving young pharmacists, he will just let us know, and then we try to see how we can give our support at the back. And because there are some certain issues that are sensitive issues, we just don't want to bring it out to the public. So we were being so there is one recent marriage, even though the person invited us as past president, but we went there as young pharmacists and we supported her, we danced. Some people are not even taking alcohol because of that wedding, they took alcohol. I will not call names, but it's something I believe the incoming executive can work on, because the constitution is saying that we should set up guidelines in terms of how do we support in welfare. So because of time, let me just don't bore you on it, but we've been working on welfare at us at the background to see how we can support members.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yes,
Ivan.
can I give a general comment?
Is it? I think we have a question first before Farm
Okay.
Smith. We
Okay.
have a question from someone raised his hand. I think it's a Sheku J Idgis. Sheku, are you still on the call?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, you have the floor, please.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Prezo, and thank you, Secretary General, for your comprehensive update. I have concern about especially strategic engagement with the DPS and that of the PSSA. I would like to know the outcome of those engagements, especially in the area of recruitment. How many of YPG members were recruited after those engagements? That is two. One. Secondly, with the engagement with PSSA, we also where PSSA was moving with a drive for fair allocation for members that are actually, according to the Civil Service Code of Practice, if you are from in grade 9 and above, you are entitled to something like 45 liters of air. And we saw PSSL moving in that direction, but YPG was very dormant in that area. We also saw the role YPG play in order for move pharmacy professional from grade 7 to enter into the Civil Service Code of Practice from grade 8. But with this particular drive, your executive was actually dormant. We see very little from YPG. So how far are we on that particular direction? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pharm Idris. I think it's a really, really good questions. To start with the first one, regarding the engagement, strategy engagements, we had several engagements with the directorate regarding recruitment. And there was, I think, people on this call, few people applied, wherein we're given 50 slots from the Ministry of Health to recruit pharmacy professionals. But what we had is we had pharmacists who they didn't apply. About only 32 people applied for recruitment towards a public service. So the issue here is now is technically people are leaning more into the private sector than the public sector, which is obviously it's not a secret due to the fact that the private sector seem more lucrative, but we had people that wanted to work in the public sector. So people applied, about 32 of them, they applied, and their process is still ongoing. It's slow. I had a meeting with the chief pharmacist regarding that, and he mentioned that there were some delays with Minister of Finance, and they're trying to see how to regularize few things. Obviously, it's not the best of answer. I'm being honest, but that is the response that I got, and that is again, it's a challenge on the new executive to probably um, follow up on some of those loose ends and see how we could be able to get those and put a little bit pressure on in terms of getting those over the line. Because the issue we can do is we can just advocate and put pressure. But the issue is even beyond even the directorate. They are putting the proposal forward. The minister has to take it up, and then they have to look whether the budget is available. So some things are very difficult when it comes to that regard. But we are doing now, and in terms of strategically engaging and in terms of advocating for people to be recruited on time, because it's been over 18 months these people have been waiting, and still they haven't been recruited after they've been contacted. So I think it's something in which I'll throw to the incoming executive who support them along the way as well. In terms of fair, we were there. I'm surprised that you said we were, but myself and Ivan was there, AI was there. We were always part of the meet. All the meetings that they held, I was there. Ivan was there. AI was there. Sia was there. We attended all those meetings. In fact, there was a meeting at Benjamin Lane in which we used the hall upstairs, which we brought forward all other stakeholders. I was there, and we gave our own input, and we're actively involved. The issue is some of those challenges, the people that had the memorandum of understanding in terms of writing a coalition was between PSSL and all those other parties, the nurses, the medical laboratory scientists, and the likes. But it wasn't technically YPG being part of that particular coalition. YPG was supporting the coalition because of we are pharmacists, and those particular facilities, in as much as a lot of people within YPG currently would not benefit from it because it's the benefit is from grade 9, but in the long term we would have benefited from it. So we supported the cause, but the cause fell through not because of YPG didn't support. It fell through because those that were part of the coalition did not follow through. That's just the reality about it.
Yeah,
we were actively part of it.
Especially, let me just say something, especially concerning this fuel allocation and our advocacy. Those were the moments we were even motivated now to finalize our registration.
Exactly.
There was one meeting we went to U building.
Exactly.
They did not allow Pharm AI to speak. They say Pharm AI is not a government pharmacist, and they don't even recognize who YPG are. They don't even want to allow our pharmacist rep to speak in that meeting. So those are meetings we are going here. Like, it's very unfortunate we are not just bringing up the issues that this, which we accept, but we are part of all of those processes. And YPG was there based on because of PSSL. So for every meeting we were with Dr. Conte, we will just update us. I know what, because there was a time we were even having our own plans to see what we can do. But when we started having challenges with the ministry, even with the with the recruitment of new pharmacists, we were part of the process, and we even held a meeting together. What we did, we held a meeting with
In
these
the staff room.
technicians and
Yeah.
pharmacists who want to be part of the government, together with the CPB. He handed over the responsibility for us to discuss. But you can force a horse to the water, but you cannot force it to drink. Most of
Absolutely.
these people are not interested in government. So we are trying to see how we can encourage them to see the need why they can be in government. And that's why we see there was a time the chief pharmacists vent out his frustration, and I counteracted his frustration that no, he did not engage properly. All of us, if people can recall, I sent a counteractive message against the chief pharmacist one at the time when he talked about his recruitment. I said he did not do the process very well because we did not engage this pharmacist and see how we can encourage them to see reasons why they can be part of government. So for now, during the process for recruitment, the policy changed. They went again and tried to do now online. People have to apply online, and I'm sure we're going to have a new set of pharmacists. And these pharmacists who wanted to even come to government, they are actually volunteering in some of these programs. So very soon we'll see a crop of them into the government. But I can tell you a few who we are successful to be part of government are currently working in some of these programs.
Yeah, I think I think that just caps it all. Sometimes it's difficult. Not what person say you're not interested in this, you know go before sir. The only two work you do is the one who interested to support them. I think that's the best thing we can do. So the other point of your question regarding upgrading is it's a lot of chaos there because the last time in which we had strategic engagement was they had to tell us that they are trying to regularize those are within the specialist cadre. Until that was regularized, before they could actually consider confirming those first of all on grade A. They have to do confirmation and then you do the upgrading. But the process was ongoing. Pharm Abdullah Tuge was leading the CI4. Unfortunately, he's not here. He would have given updates regarding that.
So for that, I checked last week or so with the ministry, and everything has been on hold. So what the ministry is doing now, for every cadre, there should be like a vacuum or gap. So everything lies currently with the chief pharmacist. The documents are still there, and they told me that it's the chief pharmacist who has to push. According to Antimam and others can attest to the fact there was a meeting the chief pharmacist had held with all of the pharmacists, the district pharmacists, and all of them. So he was trying to see how we can get these things involved. So he said they are going to regularize everything. So the chief pharmacists, until the ministry is ready, they are now doing recruitment. After recruitment, they start all of these upgrading. So it's on course.
I think I hope that answers the questions. If you have more questions, we could engage privately because due to time. Pharm Smith had comment. Pharm Smith, could you please make a comment in 30 seconds? I don't know whether that's possible, or 30 seconds, please, because we want to move to the elections.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Before moving to election, there's a report that has been presented, and I think the directions we are going there are time you need to give accolade and appreciate people. Working and doing all this other work is not easy. So thank you for that wonderful one. My recommendation one is the issue of transparency and accountability that was clearly mentioned. So when somebody is taking up office and inherited a zero account, when they outsource fund, they do resource mobilization. Can we be having reports of what and what coming? So that can help the other executive to navigate well, because this is about quality improvement now. This is not about blame. This is not about doubt, because we are all professionals. People are responsible. And we are trying to move the pharmacy profession with all these challenges are ahead of us or maybe living with us. So let us have that input that when we take up an office, let's know the resource mobilization, where it's coming from, who and who is giving, how many letters were sent out for assistance and what's coming. So people get that as a background, that this is where we start. And the other point I am saying is the financial secretary and treasurer, they are the backbone of any institution. So they could be up to their responsibility, because you see the secretary is loaded. The secretary is all maybe giving report for other person. Maybe this year is a condition, but it's very important for a template to be created that successive or executive should be followed. My other comment is even the registration, total payment, who are paying. Some of us might be member, but maybe we have not been paying. How much are we reaching out? Then lastly, to our welfare, I believe YPG should be independent and do not marry with DPS or NMSA or other institution. I believe the welfare of young pharmacy professional is key. When there was an issue of us to advocate, YPG positions was a bit not strong. I can understand the commitment and the personal or continuous development for each and every executive. Sometimes they face some negative impact. Others are posted to places where probably they do not want, just to deprive them. But the consistency of the welfare of the professional is key. It's clear that public sector is what will make young professional to come in. If we're having less number of pharmacy graduating, maybe become disinterested to enter into the public sector, we are erasing or we are not building the face of the pharmacy profession to the Ministry of Health, because the Ministry of Health is looking forward to see what we can do. What Pharm Ivan mentioned, if YPG cannot be allowed to speak when they go to meeting because somebody is not in the public sector, that is a limiting factor. So does it mean that the leaders of YPG should be somebody working in the public sectors? Let us see how we can do that. Also with Western Area PSSL, I know your funding drive. Let's have a budgeted, like Ivan mentioned, the strategic plan and the budget or costed or implemented. What involved? Because it could be a plan that this is what we want and this is what we want to do as YPG. From the Sierra Leone Pharmaceutical Business Association point of view, you have a memorandum of understanding with them as well. Because sometimes we see individual letters being distributed to pharmaceutical outlets, and sometimes the support you require, you are not having it. What's the impact to the business association that YPG is bringing? And they are employing the professional. If you check, the private sector is employing a greater number of pharmacy professionals. But what's the impact? We are seeing other organizations being formed. Like, I don't know, Muslik is leading another one that is being formed. So we keep forming bodies, but those that we have on YPG, we all should ensure that it continues to strive and we continue to thrive and we continue to support YPG. All of you guys have done a wonderful job, irrespective of anything. We are not looking at the gap, but how can we do quality improvement from where it is now? From Ivan report was very succinct, clear, and outstanding, even though we see gaps. But let us see how we can come in instead of just pointing finger out that this is not done well. DPS, YPG, please. I want an independent position, and let us don't get it mixed. Let us stand for what is right and ensure pharmacy professional. If the public sector is fine, salary is okay, there is professional being employed. Trust me, the work is huge, and what is coming at the end of the day is very low. So we are having limited number of people now. Application online. The Ministry of Health to say probably we are not interested. Other people will take those vacancies, and that will be a problem. So thank you very much. I will stop there. But kudos to all of you. Thank you for the effort. Let us see how we can ensure quality improvement instead of just shifting blame. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pharm Smith. That was I think that was another report. Anyway, but everything is taken into good faith. These are things that I like. I like when people speak up and bring up issues that from an angle which we might not be seeing. I will not go into all that because of time. We are absolutely above time. But we have one more hand, Muslik. Muslik, is it possible to do it in 30 seconds if you have a comment? Is that possible? Please, because we're actually up above time. Muslik, I'll give you the floor because it won't be fair for me to close down the comment section and not hearing from you because I know what I'm getting. Yes, Muslik.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say sorry. I was in the meeting, but I was traveling for McKinney. I just arrived now.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to the executive and thanks for the effort because no matter what, you are making up your effort and we are not paying you. So, one thing why some of us are always critical about things is the way they are happening. Before we all know what YPG stand for. When we say YPG, we all know what it stand for. So seeing it draining and no action is going on, I think most of the questions have been asked. Although the executive is just trying to be more defensive, but I'm happy also the fact that most of you guys, you already accepted the fact that you had lapses, you had issues, you had some gaps, So the fact that you already accepted that, so it means there is no need to raise a lot of other issues. Let's just see how the new executive can take up their own responsibility and see how we can move forward with the profession, because this is no time to just be raising problems. For us, we are only critical when things are not moving. When once they are moving, then we are part of it. So I don't want to hold us to spend more time on this. So I just want to say kudos to the executive for this later last minute work una do, because una really make up for this last minute because of the pressure of file per una. So anyway, it's okay. It's
Hey,
okay.
Muslim.
Get out, get out. Uslik, get
Yeah.
out. Get out.
So it's
No,
okay. It's okay.
yeah, no, to be honest,
Thank
the reason why I said it, the AGM will not be complete without a comment from Muslik is the fact that I know Muslik is very always critical, and I appreciate your comments. To be honest, it's taken in good faith. That is part of life. We have to find a way to always listen to critics and find a way to take